Hello civilians, it's me, Pun Ranger. So welcome to the very last video of me kind of like recapping my events during the last quarter of 2024, and this is the AWA video. As you can tell, I'm still in my parents' filming this. I also just had my spa day, which is why I'm so glowing and a little bit more put together in this video compared to the other. I also figured out a better camera angle too, that helps. So this is my AWA video. If this is your first time watching one of these video diary style videos that I do, hi, welcome. Basically I just turn on a camera, I speak off the cuff, and I talk about like my experience at an event that I did and what I learned and all the cool fun stuff. So feel free to just turn this on and put it on in the background, treat it like a podcast, unless you want to look at me. So let's get right into it. So way before I was ever Pawn Ranger, before any of this stuff, I was a person that was really interested in Kaigai idol stuff. I was in a Love Live dance cover group, and they had just told me about this cool hip new thing called Overseas Idols and the performance stuff, and I would watch videos on YouTube of people performing at SIF, Starlight Idol Fest, at AWA, and for the longest time there was like three, if you weren't there, you weren't there, but for the longest time there was three big stages. I think technically two. Long ago, before we had all of the cool shit that we have now, there were two big events, at least this is from my perspective from when I was first starting out. The two big things that everyone aimed towards was Starlight Idol Festival at AWA and Hallmat. And that has changed. And so when I was a bitty little fresh Kaigai idol, freshly minted, fresh new, just out of the package, learning how to do stuff, I was like, I so badly want to perform at SIF. And it was a big goal of mine for a very, very long time. And when I saw the application open last year in 2024, I was like, you know what? Fuck it, we ball. I'm gonna put in an application as a bit because I don't expect to get in. Little did I know I would get in, but Ronan and Neon were actually the Pawn Ranger gets into SIF guys. So there's this principle that I believe in, and it's called fuck it, we ball. And it's whenever you see something that you think you may be underqualified to get into, you just apply for it and see what happens. The worst they can say is no. Just apply for Starlight Idol Fest, and that's the only thing at AWA. And then little did I know that AWA's idol stuff was expanding that year. The organizers for the event had actually talked to our team here at Otakon. So this year, also for additional context, is the year that AWA's idol stuff had really like expanded. It's a bit closer to the way that like Otakon runs stuff, where you have your main stage, flagship stuff, and then you have your auxiliary main stages stuff, and then your like exhibit / stationary stage. So for Otakon, that's the stationary stage is the Otakon Idol Space Room. The flagship big event that they have is Anybeat. And then the auxiliary stages for main stage that are for two other specific niches would be Cosplay List, which is cosplayer focused, and then Now Presenting, which is new idol focused. So for AWA this year, they had their stationary stage, which was the exhibitor stage, that was in the dealer's room exhibitor hall area. They also had their big flagship thing, which is SIF. And then they had their two auxiliary stages, one of which was the Event Horizon, which was a VTuber specific event, and then Comet Stage, which is a new person specific event niche. So for this AWA, I performed at Starlight Idol Festival, and I had also performed on the exhibitor stage. So first was SIF, which, holy shit. I think that might have actually been the biggest audience that I had ever performed in front of. To this point, I'm not sure the exact metrics of what the room, but it was in the same like room that they would hold like Masquerade and all the main like guest performers in. So it was like a big standing area towards the front of the stage, and then there was rows and rows and rows of seating towards the back of the room. And I want to say this was like a couple hundred people capacity room, and there was a lot of people. I think before that, maybe the biggest stage that I had done was something comparable would be like doing opening ceremonies for Otakon when I was on tour. Holy shit, scary, but very cool. AWA was in like a new like convention hall space than previous years, I believe. So I expected to go up on a stage. It's very similar to like some of the older footage that you see up from like pre-pandemic and the last couple of years, where it's like the one stage and it has all the like light pillars, and then there's like seating, like people are able to still sit comfortably and look up at the stage comfortably. But this was like a big stage with like a 4K screen behind me, two big projection screens to the other sides of me, the big ass crowd. I was scared, but I do think that the performance that I gave at SIF was actually one of the best performances I've ever done. You'll be able to see that when the video eventually comes up later this week. I had such a good time. All of the dreams really do come true. Dreams really do come true. And I'm incredibly thankful that I was like able to perform at SIF. I'd love to come back again. And then on Saturday of the convention, I did my exhibitor stage, which was interesting because I don't think I've ever performed at like an exhibitor stage in an exhibitor hall while dealers hall hours are like ongoing. That's really cool. So I was scheduled around the same time as my friends in Sandflare and Annie was that we're doing a workshop. So we're sort of looking at each other like Cat in the Baby Gate, the like thing from SpongeBob where they're like, this grill is not a grill. Missing each other type stuff. And it was incredibly fun. It was a very intimate stage. One wired mic, which I need to really get better at. I need to really get better at my wired mic skills. That's my goal for 2025, is to like just be whipping that shit around within acceptable measures. And maneuver and learn how to like work with it. I think that's cool. It was very fun. I brought back Climax Jump for this because we had some space for shenanigans, and it was really fun. The interesting thing about like the exhibitor hall setup is because it's running during like operating hours, you don't only just have people that are coming for idol stuff, you also have people that are just vibing in the convention and just spending time in the exhibitors. So when we did Climax Jump, I was running, and then I could see that as the like show was going on and the song was going on, that more people kind of came from the exhibitors hall and just joined the circle, which was incredibly fun. I'm just gonna keep making this gesture. So the environment at AWA was incredibly supportive. I have only once done like a show in like the Southeast US, which was at MetroCon, which had a completely different vibe to AWA. So at MetroCon, people were not allowed to like call and mix, they couldn't do foodie copy. They were just basically kind of just allowed to like just do standard calls and like standard like this foodie. And then at AWA, they really leaned into like cultivating like a place for people to be able to do silly stuff. Of course, like call and mix was allowed and everything, but I think the fact that there was thought put in to have like ample audience space for people to do silly stuff, for people to do wotage, for people to swing around a loaf of bread over their head. You'll see what I mean in like 6 days. You'll see in a couple of days when it goes up. The vibe was really good. It reminded me so much of back home at Otakon, and that's no surprise because I later found out that the team for AWA's idol staff actually spoke to some of the leaders at Otakon Idol Space to bring some of the cool elements from Idol Space to AWA, which was really fun and cool. And that was, listen, I love when we like exchange of knowledge. Listen, more idol events are truly like a wow 2 cakes type of situation. There's enough to go around, man. So outside of idol stuff, I also went to Phantom Thief, which was my very first VTuber concert. I kind of it softened over like the course of the past year, but previous to like kind of jumping all in, I had like a lot of negative experiences with VTuber stuff. Not only like just people that did VTubing or like some VTuber fans just being like unkind, but also like anytime I showed like any kind of mild interest in it, I would be like inundated with people like sending me unsolicited DMs begging me to commission them. And a lot of that had like put me off of the idea of like doing or exploring a little bit further like VTuber stuff. My manager Ash, who's just like a big wisp, so I am very familiar with Mint. I very much like Mint. I like that little lady. And through that I've started to like become a bit more open, and also like I have a lot more friends now that are cool people that have either started doing VTubing or went all in on their VTubing stuff that they had done previously, and that had also helped. I had a lot of fun at Phantom Thief. That shit is so cool. I'm really interested in the technology for VTuber stuff. I love the fact that it is basically just real-time animation. Fun lore drop, fun fact. I was going to pursue animation when I was like just exiting high school. And even though I kind of just didn't choose that career path, I still really think that like animation is cool and like kind of dabble in it in my own time. And the fact that it's just real-time animation and like puppetry is really interesting. And the concert was really good. I also had to go because my friend Phoebe was in it. But I had so much fun there. There are definitely videos where you can see me like doing this in the pit. making sure Aniwaza has space. But I will say that like this going to that show has kind of made me like more interested in it. And while maybe I won't like add VTubing to like the Pawn Ranger stuff, I do see a lot of VTuber organizations following my Twitter. Um, I'm very hyper themed, but I'm not like a 2.5D, so it's sort of like, it's like the bat, like whenever you see like a picture of like a mom cat and like a bunch of kittens and like one of them is like a different animal, that's what it feels like. And also the ways that like a lot of VTuber fans who had previously not really like been super invested in like Kai Guy Idol stuff have really like embraced me, um has made me like interested in maybe pursuing like um a second project or something. If that ever happens, you'll never know unless you connect the dots. But I just really think that like it's cool, and I'm kind of inspired to check it out, even if it's not like attached to like the Pawn Ranger stuff. So maybe you'll see me somewhere someday, a VTuber that's not Pawn Ranger, but played by Pawn Ranger. I also really enjoy the trinket giving culture that the Wisps have. I don't know where to slot this in. I don't have them on me currently. They live on my desk at home, but I love the trinket giving culture. I participated in it because I made a bunch of candy bracelets and that was really fun. I need this for me, and I need to continue to participate in it with the Wisps. But I think that about wraps it up for my recap of AWA. I think this video is going to be like way shorter than the other two just because I'm not answering any like questions or don't have any like super in-depth thoughts other than I had a really good time and I feel really inspired to continue. So I had mentioned this like before in a previous post, but like I had previously like considered like graduating after AWA or sometime soon after AWA. Initially it was going to be my last show would be Northwest Idol Fest, and then that came and went, and then I was like, my last show will definitely be AWA, and then that came and went, and then a little bit after that I had briefly thought I will graduate maybe sometime in early 2024, and I ended up not. And I do attribute that to the continued support that you guys show me. And also, like, I don't know, this past year has been very difficult for me, but I think that there are good things on the horizon, hopefully. So you guys are at least stuck with me for like another year. We'll see how it goes. It's not that I've lost like any kind of passion for the stuff that I do. I still really enjoy it. I've just been like definitely struggling with my mental and physical health, which has made things a little difficult, and 2025 is going to be kind of a continued process of healing and trying to get better, and maybe exploring new things as the year goes on. Later this week there will be a live video from SIF, so I hope that you'll look forward to that. Really hope that you enjoyed this recap of AWA. AWA was my last show of 2024, and I'm not quite sure when my next show of 2025 will be. I have some stuff, but I don't think that they're all confirmed concretely enough to announce quite yet. So, please look forward to that. There's some other stuff in the works. I've been working on an EP. I'm going to say this before I wrap up the video. I've been trying to push my Patreon a little bit more. And up on there has been me working on like my EP demos, and also starting this month the planning stuff for my birthday events. So I'm planning on putting a lot more effort into my Patreon, and it would really mean a lot to me if you decided to support me. It's like $1 a month and you get all these really cool perks. So without further ado, let's go into the Patreon crawl and you can see all of the cool people that have decided to support me. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye!
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。